So on the GX5 series of pumps, the diaphragm pumps themselves, they're pretty bulletproof. We have very, very few problems with the pumps. Usually it's a lack of maintenance to your average replacement parts that isn't kept up on, and that's what will cause a lot of problems. So, and this can be on any model hydraulic pump we have. On the pumps, you have your diaphragms. This model is the LFP80 model. You can denote that by a silver sticker that is down here on the legs. Some pumps have a tag that is on the side with the silver sticker. Some of the larger pumps on the oil reservoir, there'll be a silver sticker and it'll tell you what pump model you have. It might say AR80 LFP, or it might say D160. In that case, we know what the model number is. We can get you whatever parts you need. Looking at the pump, the most common replaceable parts, just your maintenance parts, are the diaphragms themselves. The manufacturer recommends every 2 to 3 years to change those diaphragms out. Your mileage can vary as well. I find that to be pretty true. Generally, every 2 to 3 years, you want to change those diaphragms out. If you bring the pump to us, we service our pumps for free. We only charge for parts. So if you're nearby or if you want to ship your pump to us, we'll take care of it for you. If you want to do it yourself, they're pretty easy to do. We have a couple videos on our YouTube page showing how to change the diaphragms in the pumps. If you do one pump, you can kind of do all models of pumps, but we have an older style version that's on there and a newer style version. So what will happen if the diaphragms are not changed? Usually if someone never changes them, I tend to see at the point where they have to be replaced because they finally tear is around 5 to 6 years. So if the pump is that old, you definitely want to change them out. You can tell that a diaphragm is torn because your oil is leaking out into your fertilizer and you have to keep putting oil in here. Or if your oil looks milky, so like fertilizer is mixing with your oil, you're getting fertilizer inside the cavity of the pump. That's really not good. I've had guys before where they forget about it at the end of the year. They don't change the diaphragms. They don't clean out the cavity of the pump where only oil is supposed to be. And then they try to run the pump next year and the pump is seized up. Now you have to buy a whole new expensive pump because you didn't maintenance the pump earlier. So changing the diaphragms, they're cheap to do. It only takes an hour to change the diaphragms at the end of the season or in the winter. Just change out the diaphragms. It can save you a lot of money and headache later in the middle of planting season. Another thing inside these pumps are these stainless valves that are in here, and they're spring-loaded valves. What these will do as the pump spins, the diaphragm and the piston come in and out, which will pull your product. The valves will also pull and push your product through the pump. Those valves, you don't have to change as often. Usually we change them about every 5 years. Sometimes you can go even longer. When the springs start to lose their tension, your pump will start to surge a little bit more. Maybe it's not too bad. Commonly what will happen if guys don't have a filter going into the pump from their tank, there's some crap in the bottom of the tank, some pebbles, corn, wood chips. We've seen all kinds of things get in the pump and it can get stuck in these valves. It'll hold the valve open and then your pump will really surge. It'll be an unacceptable surge in that pump. So it could be that something is stuck in these valves. So you need to open the pump, take that out, put the pump back together. It's not a very common thing we see because most people run a filter into the pump. But if you find yourself not having a filter and that pump just won't stop surging, you know it's not the hydraulics, you know it's not the electronics, it's probably just something stuck inside that pump. On the sides of these pumps, on both sides, there is this seal that's in here. There's a snap ring, and then there's this blue seal. Sometimes oil will leak out through here. If that happens, all you need to do is replace the seal. It's nothing that's too hard to do. Just take off the snap ring. Then you kind of got to dig in there. You can pull that blue O-ring out, put a new one in, put the snap ring back on. You're good to go. And on the back side, inside of this flange, there's another O-ring that's back there as well. If you notice there's oil inside this flange, first determine if it's hydraulic oil, because if it's hydraulic oil, it could be leaking from the motor shaft. If it's the oil that's in the pump, which is a non-detergent 30-weight oil, then it could be that ring that's on the inside here as well. Typically in older pumps, 5, 6 years old, guys might need to change those out. So it's just something to look for. If you're leaking oil, it might be that blue ring.